Okay, so this video is going to be about how long should quotes that I used from the story be. So all of you by now should have incorporated quotes, which if you remember, quotes equal any sentence directly taken from the story, okay? And the short answer to this question, how long should quotes that I use from the story be, is short and sweet. So we're going to talk about how to make sure that your quotes are short and sweet. So first off, the story we're going to be using as an example is an amazing, amazing story that I, Mrs. Walls, wrote about Miss Morris. And we're going to use this for the theme that we're going to write about. So I'm going to read the story to you so you know what we're talking about, and then I'm going to show you how I found a quote from the story as evidence for my claim. So, ahem. The Epic Water Bottle Fail by Mrs. Woles. One day, Miss Morris was walking down the hall and saw two kids named Marshmallow and Jello flipping water bottles like nobody's business. Marshmallow and Jello did not see Miss Morris in the hallway, and after an epic flip of the water bottle, accidentally hit Miss Morris in the shoulder with the water bottle. The flip was so epic that Miss Morris fell to the ground. "Ow!" Miss Morris screamed as if she had just been struck by lightning. "Oh my gosh, Marshmallow!" Jello yelled. "You just hit Miss Morris with a water bottle in the shoulder and then she fell down." "I didn't mean to," Marshmallow cried, wallowing in guilt. "We were just trying to break the world record for bottle flips. It's not my fault." Miss Morris slowly pushed herself up from the ground and said, "Jello, Marshmallow, come with me." "What? I didn't do anything," said Marshmallow. "Jello made me do it." Jello turned to Marshmallow, betrayed. "What? No, I didn't." Miss Morris turned to both students and said, "Nobody made either of you do anything. You have a brain of your own, and that brain decided that my safety was not as important as your epic bottle flip. You are suspended." "No!" The end. Okay, so that's the story we're going to be writing about. And I hope you enjoyed. And so this is the thematic literary essay I started about this story. So my claim is one thing that is true, that is also true in the world, is that you should take responsibility for your actions, and we learn this through the beginning, middle, and end of the story, because that's what I think we learned from this story, hopefully. So I'm trying to convince my readers that that's true. So I went ahead and I found a very long quote that I think shows that it's important to take responsibility for your actions, and we're going to see if we can shorten this so we make sure that it is short and sweet. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and read this body paragraph, and this purple part is the quote from the story. I want you to think about how can we shorten this. Which part of this quote is the most important part that shows my theme? We learn it's important to take responsibility for your actions because in the middle of a story, Marshmallow still hasn't learned this lesson and things don't go well because of it. When Jello told Marshmallow that he hurt Miss Morris, he denies it. It says in the story, "Ow!" Miss Morris screamed as if she had just been struck by lightning. "Oh my gosh, Marshmallow!" Jello yelled. "You just hit Miss Morris with a water bottle in the shoulder and then she fell down." "I didn't mean to," Marshmallow cried, wallowing in guilt. "We were just trying to break the world record for bottle flips. It's not my fault." Miss Morris slowly pushed herself up from the ground and said, "Jello, Marshmallow, come with me." "What? I didn't do anything," said Marshmallow. "Jello made me do it." Jello turned to Marshmallow, betrayed. "What? No, I didn't." This shows that Marshmallow doesn't take responsibility for his actions because he says it's not his fault, even though he's the one that threw the water bottle. Sorry, I'm laughing because that quote is so long. If he was taking responsibility for his actions, he could not have apologized and admitted that he did something wrong that caused Miss Morris to fail. Okay, or to fall. And fail, I guess. Okay, how can we shorten this quote? Because it is super duper long. I mean, it took me forever to read this, and your reader, you're going to lose your reader if it's this long. So my goal is to get maybe one line, hopefully even shorter. How could we shorten this quote? Right now, pause the video, and when you pause the video, think about what would you take out of this entire humongous thing, and what little bite is the most important part to show that it's important to take responsibility for your actions. So I am serious. Pause the video and look for the part that shows it's important to take responsibility for your actions. Actually pause the video. You need to pause it. Pause it right now. Okay, great. Thanks for pausing. Now that we're back, I hope maybe you did something similar to what I'm about to do. So, in looking at this quote, I think I'm going to take out this whole thing in the beginning, this talking about Miss Morris and how she fell down and he's wallowing in guilt and all these things. I think the most important part of this entire, basically multiple paragraphs, is the part where he says, Marshmallow says, "It's not my fault." That is the part where he does not take responsibility. So watch how I do this. I'm just going to chop this whole thing. Boom. Look at that. And then I'm going to chop. So it's not my fault, and I can take out this entire thing. I don't need to talk about Miss Morris slowly pushing herself up from the ground. How does that relate to Marshmallow taking responsibility for his actions? It doesn't. So I'm just going to take out all of that, add some quotation marks, and then maybe add a little intro here where it says in the story, Marshmallow says, "It's not my fault." Boom. And then I'm just going to keep going. This shows that Marshmallow doesn't take responsibility for his actions because he says it's not his fault, which is literally what the quote is. Even though he's the one that threw the water bottle, if he was taking responsibility for his actions, he could have apologized and admitted that he did something wrong that caused Miss Morris to fall. Look at how much neater this paragraph looks. It's definitely a lot more focused. When I read this, I'm not going to like totally lose my breath in trying to read this entire quote. This is short, to the point, and how all of your quotes should be short and sweet, exactly to the point of what your purpose is that you're trying to convince people. Okay, so right now go back to your writing, see if you can find some quotes that were like mega quotes, like this one looked like this, or even ones that are just like this long, and see if you can cut it down to being as short as this, so it's, you know, that it's to the point. Okay.